Florida's governor race is heating up, and one candidate is refusing to sound like every other politician on the stage. His name is James Fishback. He may not have the biggest political machine behind him, but he is putting forward some of the boldest ideas in this race. And whether you support him or not, Floridians deserve to hear what he is actually proposing.
Well, Patrick, thank you so much for hosting this. Thank you to my wife, Valeria, for being here. Jay, thank you for being here. Thank you for your 23 years of service to the United States Army. Thank you, Paul, for being here and your 20 years of service to the United States Navy. To the viewers at home, thank you for tuning in to tonight's important debate. Let me start by getting one thing off my chest. If Ron DeSantis could run for a third term as governor, I would not be in this race because Ron DeSantis is the greatest governor in Florida history.
Fishback is presenting himself as the outsider in this race. He's young, unapologetic, and he's willing to challenge both political parties when he believes Florida families are being ignored. So let's begin with the issue hitting homeowners the hardest: property taxes.
My position on property taxes?
Yes.
It's pretty simple. I don't support relieving your property taxes. I don't support reforming your property taxes. I support one thing and one thing only, and that is completely and totally abolishing property taxes in the state of Florida.
Completely.
Eliminating property taxes on homesteaded property would be a massive change. Fishback's argument is simple. If you can lose your home for failing to pay the government, do you ever truly own it? But eliminating a major source of local revenue immediately raises an important question. How do we continue to fund schools, police departments, firefighters, and other essential services?
Now, I'm a business guy on the stage, so let me tell you how we do the math on it. It's pretty simple. In the last 5 years, property tax revenue in our state is up 76%. They're collecting, Patrick, 76% more today than they were 5 years ago. To the people watching at home, is your government doing a 76% better job? Are your roads 76% better? Your schools 76% better? Does anyone believe the DMV is 76% more efficient? No! So we got a problem. Guess what? It's called Doge. It's called audit. It's called remove the waste, fraud, and foolishness. Here are two numbers that every Floridian needs to know. There is a $20 billion increase that 76% represents. The cost, Patrick, to make sure that no one in this room and no one watching at home who calls Florida home never pays a property tax bill again is just $18 billion. So what we have to do is we have to get local governments like Broward County, Miami-Dade County, Orange, Osceola, Hillsborough, we have to get them to live within our means. Governor DeSantis just signed the state budget into law. It is the fourth year in a row that the state budget has actually gotten smaller, while Broward, Dade, and Palm Beach County waste more of your hard-earned money. Hire me as governor. I will go in there not with a scalpel, not with a rake. I'm going in there with a chainsaw, and I'm going to save billions of dollars and pass the savings on to you.
Thank you, James.
That proposal would face serious scrutiny, as it should. Floridians need more than a slogan. We need a detailed plan showing exactly how the numbers would work. But Fishback is at least forcing this race to confront a system that is pricing longtime residents out of their own communities. Housing is another major part of his campaign, particularly the growing influence of major investment firms buying single-family homes.
The fact that Blackstone and BlackRock are buying up all this housing supply, 117,000 single-family homes are owned by private equity. Single-family homes are for Floridians, they're not for hedge funds. And so what we have to do is we have to prevent these large investors, foreign nationals, from buying up our homes, driving out Floridians who have built their life here, and that's how we can bring down costs.
Families shouldn't have to compete against billion-dollar corporations for starter homes. A house should be somewhere to raise a family, not another asset in a Wall Street portfolio. Florida's insurance crisis is also making homeownership increasingly unaffordable.
Patrick, it's a great question, and it's one that we have to fight with a very simple idea called capitalism. If you're the only Dairy Queen in the middle of a desert, you can charge whatever you want for soft serve. What we have to do is bring in a Baskin-Robbins, bring in a Carvel, bring in a Cold Stone. You might even bring in a McDonald's, Jay, if the ice cream machine were working that day. What does that competition do? It brings down prices. The fact that 12 insurance companies have cut or left the state entirely is exactly why insurance rates have gone up. As a business guy, I'm going to call those CEOs myself and ask them, what is it going to take for you to come back to our state? How can we reform these laws? But here's the thing. Insurance doesn't just come down to price. It also comes down to coverage. For the Florida families who went through Michael in 2018, Irma in 2017, or Wilma in 2005, know this: when a hurricane hits, you will not have to hunt down and recruit a lawyer to get paid from your insurance company. I will stand up to insurance greed in our state.
People are watching their premiums skyrocket, their coverage shrink, or their policies disappear altogether. Fishback is arguing that Florida needs stronger accountability and a system that works for homeowners instead of protecting politically connected interests. He is also raising an issue that will only become more important: the rapid expansion of artificial intelligence data centers.
We have a real problem with these so-called experimental data centers. I'm sorry, we are not going to build a 2 million square foot facility in our neighborhood that Mark Zuckerberg is going to use to become a trillionaire. The same exact experimental data center that will drive up your electric bills, jeopardize our water supply, and is so loud and noisy that you will hear it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I want to be clear. I am not going to regulate data centers. I am not going to reform data centers. As governor, I will reject and remove every experimental data center in our state.
Technology can create jobs and investment, but Floridians should not be forced to absorb higher utility bills so enormous corporations can power massive data centers. Economic growth should benefit the people living here, not leave ordinary families paying the bill. Fishback has taken strong position on government surveillance and Florida's use of technologies connected to companies such as Flock Safety and Palantir.
As governor, you will always get a yes or no answer out of me. If elected the 47th governor, I would ban all Flock and Palantir systems in Florida.
Public safety matters, but so does the Constitution. There must be a clear line between using technology to investigate serious crimes and building a system capable of tracking innocent citizens without proper oversight. Once the government gains that kind of power, it rarely gives it back voluntarily. Another Fishback proposal surprised some conservatives: paid maternity leave.
What I would say is, as a Christian, I believe that life begins at conception. I believe that to be pro-life, we have to totally end abortion in the state of Florida. And that's what I would run to do as governor. But I also believe that it is really messed up to tell a mom who gives birth on Friday morning that she has to be at work Monday bright and early. As governor, I will institute paid maternity leave for every working mom in our state.
Fishback connects this directly to being pro-life and pro-family. If politicians want people to choose life and build families, then government policy should stop making childbirth financially devastating. You can debate the cost or structure of his proposal, but his underlying argument deserves consideration. Fishback is not running a cautious campaign. He is proposing major changes involving property taxes, housing, insurance, technology, privacy, and support for new mothers. Some of those ideas will require more detail, some will face political resistance, and every proposal should be examined honestly before it becomes law. But I would rather hear a candidate put forward bold ideas and defend them than to listen to another career politician repeat carefully tested talking points.
Thank you, Patrick, for hosting us. Thank you, Jay and Paul. I know we saw some fireworks tonight. It's because all three men on this stage love this state and love our country. I want to speak directly to the voters who are watching from home. Thank you for tuning in to tonight's important debate. This election is not about the who. This election is about the what. What vision for Florida do you want? I'm going to stand up and ban data centers. I'm going to fight for our citrus growers and our cattle ranchers. I'm going to stand up for your First Amendment right and your Second Amendment right, because I'm a principled conservative. Nowadays, people say they're principled conservatives, but ask them, where do they draw their principles from? Me, I draw them from two places: the U.S. Constitution and the gospel of Jesus Christ.
James Fishback may be the underdog, but elections are supposed to be decided by voters, not donors, party insiders, or whether the media declares him the frontrunner. I'm not asking you to agree with every proposal. I'm just asking that you listen, research the candidates, and decide who is actually prepared to fight for Florida families. Right now, James Fishback is bringing ideas to this race that deserves to be heard. This is the Reynolds Perspective. Thanks for listening.